Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. Get my lighting situation here. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing today? It's a beautiful, beautiful fall day here in Indianapolis, and I could not be any more pleased. It's just that crispiness of the air, right? We all know what's coming after fall, but let's not think about that. Let's not think about that. I took a walk and took a couple of calls before I hopped online with you all today. And I am just happy to be back online. It's been an exciting few couple of weeks, lots of updates to share and fun things to get into today. So, jumping right in, how was everybody's week? My week, let's see, where do I begin? It's been a pretty steady week, let's say that. I've got some buyers that I've been working with for a little bit under contract, and we are set to close mid-November, so that's very exciting. Very pumped for them as far as the house finding them finding the house. Everything just worked out the way it needed to. I've got a lot of things going on as far as events and educational type things for you, customer and clients, of course. Webinars coming up with some friends at GVC Mortgage. Shout out to Courtney Kraft. I'm excited to get back on the webinars and to be in front of you because you don't know what you don't know. And education is a huge part of the foundation and how I operate as a realtor here in Indianapolis. And the first webinar in November, it's November 13th, it's going to be about credit repair. And these are things, people can be a little timid approaching this conversation, but it's a safe space. We're all just trying to get ahead, survive, and do the best we can with what we've got. And that is the goal with this presentation. Hey, we're not going to be sharing any personal information on the airwaves, but maybe there will be some takeaways and things that you could utilize for yourself and your household to help put yourself in a better situation, not just for buying a house, but just in general. And the second week, the very following week on November 20th, we are going to have a saving webinar, how to save, crafty ways to do that, savvy ways to do that to help those pockets, especially now, right? Okay. What else do I have going on? Gearing up for our first bonfire of the season. It's finally cool enough to have a bonfire. Usually at this point in the season, let me say previously, I've had at least two bonfires by now, but we are just getting to bonfire number one coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And then, of course, in December, the weather will be perfect for ugly sweaters around the fire. So lots of fun things, keeping it light, but still being present for my people, providing education, especially in this shifting market. Okay, so I did a post a handful of weeks back, just a kind of one off post, and it was a tarot pull for the market. And if you don't know anything about me, tarot is something that I just kind of study, and it's a hobby of mine outside of real estate. So why not try to apply some of those teachings and some of the things that come up in the cards to the industry? So let's see what the card is for the weekend. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Swords. Now, what we know about tarot is that the aces, they carry all the power of the entire suit. So all the other swords in the deck, this is that seed, this is that jump off point, that fuel on top of the gasoline. And you'll notice it's upside down. So I like to call that low vibe. If this were in the upright position, your mind is probably really mentally sharp and thinking about how this applies to real estate. So let me backtrack a second. So swords, they have everything to do with your mental, how you make decisions, the strength of your decision making and problem solving. So going back to the aces carrying the power of their entire suit, if this were in the upright position, you're feeling very sure of yourself, very confident, very thankful for the lessons you've collected because now you are where you are and you're feeling really good about where you are. Now, in the low vibe position, upside down in this case, um, not anything terribly negative. I like to say the reverse cards or any of those cards with the harder lessons that pop up. The cards are a guide, it's not a fortune teller. So, in the upside down position here, this tells me maybe in the industry there's some doubt. There's definitely some obstacles that we've been dealing with. And slicing it up, buyer, seller, realtor, I mean, sellers right off the top, right? You've got listings that are hanging out. You're working really hard with your broker, trying to figure out how to get it sold beyond just adjusting the price, right? Really having to dig deep and put yourself maybe in the buyer's shoes to figure out why they're not visiting that listing, why that listing's not moving. And on the buyer side, trepidation, right? There's a lot of uncertainty kind of in the air, but people are still buying homes, people are still selling homes. And for buyers, not speaking for my clients, but clients I've helped recently, they've thought, hey, we've watched the market, we've been watching it since the top of the year. Now might be the time for us to jump in and see what we can do. Take our time since, inventory is going up and see what kind of deals are out there, see what kind of treasures pop up. And that's absolutely what happened. Excuse my dogs, the squirrels are out. But from that buyer's mindset, right? Like you see the rates coming down, now feels like a good time to move. Is it the right time to move? Just being sure of that next step has been challenging. So very proud of you for those of you who have made that step and were able to take that step. And for those of you coming off of the sidelines, stay positive and keep working with your brokers. There's definitely lots of opportunity in the market right now from the buyer side. Excuse me. Now, the Ace of Swords and low vibe for from the realtor's perspective, um, I would say you definitely need to stay focused. This seems to be a theme with the cards the last few months as it relates to real estate. And again, it's upside down. So you might be having some obstacles you're running into with the marketing of that listing. You're doing everything and nothing is working. But stay focused. The market is shifting and it's shifting. So really pay attention to what's happening, where the activity is happening, and try your best to apply that to the business you have in front of you today. One step at a time, all right? We've all got this. Okay, so we will touch more on kind of what's happening in the market here in a little bit. But before we do that, let's have a quick little moment for a word from our sponsors.
Exciting, not overwhelming. Whether it's your first place, a move up, or a refinance, the right mortgage strategy makes all the difference. I'm Madeline Shevlin, a local mortgage loan officer based right here in the Indy area. I specialize in helping first-time buyers and growing families navigate the loan process with confidence. No jargon, no surprises, just guidance from somebody who truly cares. I'm here to make things simple, strategic, and stress-free. From helping you get pre-approved to finding the right loan program, I take pride in being the loan officer who actually answers the phone, breaks things down clearly, and keeps you informed every step of the way. Refinancing? I'll help you weigh your options and decide what's actually best for you. Let's make your home goals happen together with a mortgage that fits your life. Follow me on Instagram at Mortgage with Madeline or visit rate.com/Madeline Shevlin to connect today. Buying a home should feel exciting, not overwhelming. Whether it's your first place, a move up, or a refinance, the right mortgage strategy makes all the difference. I'm Madeline Shevlin, a local mortgage loan officer based right here in the Indy area. I specialize in helping first-time buyers and growing families navigate the loan process with confidence. No jargon, no surprises, just guidance from somebody who truly cares. I'm here to make things simple, strategic, and stress-free. From helping you get pre-approved to finding the right loan program, I take pride in being the loan officer who actually answers the phone, breaks things down clearly, and keeps you informed every step of the way. Refinancing? I'll help you weigh your options and decide what's actually best for you. Let's make your home goals happen together with a mortgage that fits your life. Follow me on Instagram at Mortgage with Madeline or visit rate.com/Madeline Shevlin to connect today.
All right. Thank you, Madeline. Shout out to Madeline and Rate. We've got some business right now, and our clients are very happy. So, any of your lending needs, give her a call, shoot her an email, find her on Instagram. She will be happy to have you. Now, I forgot to share something at the top of the show, and I don't know how because it's just so funny. But we tend to get into Halloween around here, and this year, it wasn't mostly last minute. It was a little bit last minute, but not mostly. But anyway, I was a lunch lady, and I just have to show you. I have to show you what that looks like. So take a look. Served, yeah, was in the building. Not pictured is my bucket of treats and my ladle where I was serving the people. And shout out to my friend Jen here in town. She's also a broker. She's Catwoman here. Friend Tracy, we had a blast. Lovely time. Jen is a great hostess, and that was our Halloween fun last weekend. So yeah, get into the gig. Served ya was out here serving the people. Okay, back to the show. So I decided, right, we're all we've all got our feelings about AI. The most I've used AI for is helping me outline projects, listing descriptions, helping me edit down because I can be very wordy sometimes, and decided to have some fun with the general public. Now, we weren't hacking into anyone's system or anything, but what we did do, we being Jamal the Broker LLC and the podcast, I guess, like I'm more than one person, we asked ChatGPT what are buyers searching for on the internet as it relates to real estate and opportunities. What are buyers typing into their search engines in the Indianapolis metro area? And there were a few things that we kind of know as brokers that popped up, but there are some things to think about here, especially with how the climate is right now with the economy. And, we still see people making real estate moves. So, some really interesting points that we can touch on today. I'm looking at my dogs because I'm sure they're going to want to come inside now that we're about to get into the meat of our discussion here. But the very first item that popped up as first on the list, no particular order, but lifestyle and location fit. So this is huge. What we know, probably one of the only things that matches, that translates, let me say, from the textbook to the real estate wild is that situs or the preference of where the client wants to be. If you've got a seller and they're selling a house, where are they going? That location and how it fits their lifestyle is huge. It's always the top, the biggest part of the pie, the percentage when it comes to making that decision, no matter who you ask. That location is always, a part of it. And now, since the pandemic in 2020 and on, how people use their real estate, their property, their house in their everyday lifestyle is huge. So buyers aren't just looking for a house, they're looking for how it fits their lives. Some of the top searches revolved around homes with home office space and homes with space for remote work. So not even a designated office, but hey, is there a corner in this home that I'm looking for, my future would be home? Or is there a nice breakfast bar that I can plant myself at on the weekends or on the evenings when I have some tasks to do at the house? Which, again, not a huge surprise, but you see the trends move and shake week in, week out, month in, year out. You see all the trends come and go. And for a while there, everybody was into this open concept and everything being open. We can see across the house to every wall, but now we're looking for, those little nooks and crannies to really help us maximize the real estate beyond just an office. Do I need a whole office or do I just need a spot where I can sit my things down, get some work done, and then, get back to my day to day? So that stood out a great deal. Now, the next sub bullet under this was walkability. And let me say, I know everybody does not have the ability to walk. Everybody gets around differently. I'm always asking for, people out there in the real estate wild. If you are someone who does not get around like anyone else, I would love to hear from you because I'm always out on the Monon and I see people of all abilities out there utilizing the trail. So when I say walkability, I have that in mind. But speaking to that lifestyle point, um, I'll use myself as a personal example, and I've mentioned it a number of times on the show before. We previously lived in the Eagle Creek area, really nice, pretty wooded area, but we wanted to be able to do things like walk to the grocery store, ride our bikes to the grocery store, go walk to get a beer, go get a coffee, walk the dogs to the dog shop that's down the street, the dog shop, where they go to get their baths and grooming. The groomers, that's the word. So walkability was pretty high on that list as far as how does the neighborhood work for us. And not a lot of people are talking about it, but this is something that I've seen within my sphere and my network of friends and family that I know here in Indy. There's a little bit of a surge for people coming back towards town. So, a lot of people like to go on the outskirts of Indy and build, and that's all great. You build the perfect house. Well, I kid you not, just working open houses over the last, let's call it 3, 4 months, and people that have come in from the suburbs moving back towards where we are in the Broad Ripple area, closer to town. People are saying they're bored. They can't, that walkability is not there because, the McCordsville is not built out like the Fishers yet. And all these things that maybe they did discuss them with their realtor at the time, maybe they didn't. But yes, the Broad Ripple area is very well established that way. And you're definitely going to get walkability, whether you're going out to get a coffee or going out with friends or a nice dinner after work that's right around the block. I mean, I love walking down to Mama Corolla's and Half Liters right there. And of course, our friends at Orangely. So, all of those types of things are something to consider when you're thinking about the real estate beyond the property. How is that neighborhood, how is that real estate going to work for you? Um, Another one that also popped up that I can't say I've run into quite a bit, but you do hear a little bit are just eco wellness friendly type amenities. People looking for spas. I know a dream, a dream of mine would be to build like a dry sauna in the addition that we plan on adding to the house. Things like that. A really nice shower, deep soaking tub, anything to help that little piece of escapism a lot of people might need right now. Hey, if you can come home to a spa moment that's, just down the hallway or in your primary suite, why not? If you have that capability, absolutely do that. So, Again, nothing I've run into. A lot of my clients are building their dream homes. If you can buy your dream home just right off the first try, fabulous. But most people are making that investment, right? And building up and working up to those features and just feeling nice, treating your body and your mind right. That goes a long way, especially with the way everybody works and the holidays are coming up, which means your social batteries are going to be insanely drained. So, wellness is top of mind. It should be top of mind if it is not for you. Okay, so something I found interesting, and I only say interesting because a lot of my clients and my experiences with older homes, so I don't tend to see a lot of smart home features unless I have clients looking at new builds or more updated homes. But people, buyers, specifically in the Indy metro area, are searching for smart home features, focusing on move in readiness. With budgets in mind, people want to get the most bang for their buck. They don't want to have to move into a complete project, and having some of those smart features would be nice. For example, something on the smaller side of life in the smart home feature category might be, are the appliances smart home capable? Are they attached to apps like LG where you can have you can start and stop the dryer, you can see how much time is left, you can adjust temperatures and things like that. You can control your thermostat, maybe your lights. These aren't deal breakers by any means, but people are looking for these things. Uh, you hear the term turnkey a lot, whether it's HGTV or you're working with me or your preferred realtor in your local market. But turnkey basically just means you're coming into the home. There's not a ton of work that you need to do. You can move in, unpack, and live there. You can get to those cosmetic and maybe those projects that you would like to do down the road. So people, buyers specifically, are looking for move-in ready situations. The more move-in ready, the better. What this means for sellers is we do have to present very well coming to the market, making sure the space is clean, making sure there's no clutter. If you can do staging, do that. Staging definitely helps sell the property. And you can even do some AI staging. Agents, including myself, are playing with that. But the less buyers have to do, and this is something to think about because it's shifting towards a buyer's market, um, just think ahead and be proactive that way. If you can clean up the space, do that smaller project, go ahead and do that because the smaller that to do list is for the buyer, you see now it's flipped. Smaller that list is for the buyer, the better it will be for you, seller. Something I see as far as like specific features that I notice around me as it relates to smart home features, solar panels. So we all know what's going on with the electricity right now, and those bills are just going the way they're going, right? People seeing bills 500% more than what they usually are in certain markets. And we can only do what we can do. But as it relates to home ownership and your property, something you could consider is solar panels. And people are searching for homes with good sun scores. Now, if you see a listing with the sun score and you've ever wondered what that was, that is what it is. So, my house, for example, here in Sobro, it has a sun score of 80 out of 100. So, we get a lot of sun over here. All my plants thrive in that front room where all the sun just pours in. But I've got plants all around me because this house gets a lot of light in every direction. But what that also means is if I were to invest in solar panels for my property, that could soak up all of that sun, right, and turn it into energy that then powers the house and everything on the lot, really. And I have plans to build out the lot and the garage and do things like that. So thinking about incorporating solar panels would be something to consider if I'm thinking about saving money down the road. Now, buyers aren't looking for these to be already present, but if a home is on the market with solar panels, it's a little more interesting to the buyer because, again, that eco friendliness, taking care of the environment is very top of mind, even with the way we are taking care of older homes and bringing them into the today of things. So, with solar panels, you can buy them outright, investing, right? Or you can check with the listing and see if you would be taking over a lease because those panels can also be leased. So it's a matter of how the money will look, but that is a way people are saving once they get into the homes, and something that's popping up too on searches from buyers in the Indy area. So something to think about. And if your house has a good sun score, advertise that. You never know who's looking. So a quick example just on that. So I typed this out this morning, so forgive me. Imagine a typical Indy area home is valued at like 300,000. If the owner installs a fully owned solar panel system, that would add about 5 to 7% in value, in resale value, meaning about 15K to 21K extra in value just from the solar investment. And beyond that, the buyer sees lower utility bills, like we've mentioned. But if the panels are leased, that premium might vanish because the next homeowner has to take over that lease. So, things to think about, things people are looking for, move in ready and smart home features. And of course, how could we not talk about the market and the market conditions, right? That was number three that I pulled from the list today. And I plan on sharing more, but just for the sake of time, we'll save those for another episode. Or maybe I'll push them out in an email. I'll let you know. But the final item, kind of towards the top of the list, was financing, affordability, market conditions. A large chunk of searches revolve around can I afford this and what is realistic right now and what's changing the market. So those are major themes. And while we're on this, I'll just throw up this visual to share while we're touching on the market. Okay, so this is a market snapshot of the Indy metro area. So this is covering 17 counties, and this is the September numbers. If you are local here in Indy and you would like this drilled down to your county and your township, those nitty gritty details, shoot me an email, hello@jamalthebroker.com, and I can help you out that way. But, um, you know, other things to tack onto that search. How much should I save for a down payment? Is more inventory coming on? It definitely is. I think I think in the August numbers we had 1.8 months worth of inventory, and in the September numbers you see here we've got 2.4, and we're definitely seeing that buyers are taking their time because they have more choices. That sense of urgency is gone in the sense that we don't have to rush out the door to see this listing. Let's give it a week or two and see if it's there. And that's absolutely how the market's been tracking. Now, those homes that are truly turnkey, they're staged, they present very well, those homes are flying off the market still. So it's a little bit of a risk still, but it's not as big of a risk to have buyers take their time and wait and see what happens. And that is absolutely what we're seeing in these searches. Affordability concerns and economic uncertainty are making buyers more cautious. I would say that's absolutely accurate. Absolutely accurate. It's not a, oh, I can't do this. I can never do this mindset that I'm seeing. It's more of a, hey, we know because we have taken the time to do our own research before we called you, Mr. Realtor, how the market's going. We're not the professionals, but we see how things are moving and we just want to wait. And that's absolutely what we are seeing. That is very, very true. Especially for us millennials and people older than millennials who remember the last downturn. Um, Realtors, going back to that Ace of Swords earlier, this is this is your time to stay focused, stay creative, and really dig into that problem solving. Is there more you could be doing? Stay creative and stay driven. It's going to happen. But we're definitely seeing that in the market. I mean, just the year over year percentages and month over month percentages are, they keep going up every week. So we are definitely not in that pandemic mindset anymore. If you are still there, you would do well to leave that space. Leave that space. If you are going to have good spirits and be successful and be honest with yourselves, truly, we're not in that market anymore. You can still be successful, but the way we have to do things is a little different. So, yes, we're out here working hard for you. And as a consumer, we know that you're working hard too. There's a lot of life happening right now, right? And you're all doing your best, and we are just here to educate. So, what I will tell you is if you ever have a question, just reach out. It's never too early to be thinking about these things and setting yourself up for success in that way. Okay, so that is what I have on the list today as far as what buyers are searching on the internet in the Indianapolis metro area. And this was brought to you by ChatGPT. If you are one of those weirdos like myself who has named your virtual assistant, I have named mine, and their name is Quinn. I specifically wanted something that felt like they were a digital butler, online concierge, and I told them this, like, hey, I need your help, but first we got to name you, and had this whole naming ceremony. I know it sounds ridiculous, but Quinn helped me out a great deal with this. And the name also just sounds like someone who's going to be three steps ahead, gender neutral, all the good stuff. So thank you, Quinn, for your help today with this. And we'll be back with more kind of topics like this because from the seller side, you can really take some of this buyer mindset and apply it to how you set your listing up. If you're going to be very successful in the market and use this information, what are buyers asking? What are they saying? What is the feedback buyers are giving? That's very useful to you, seller. So while you're working through the shifts, like some of us brokers, be open to that feedback and don't be afraid to apply it to what's going on in your local market. Okay, before I let you go, so a couple things going on this weekend. I always shout out Harvest Nights at Newfields. Newfields is one of my favorite places here in town, and they have the entire grounds decorated, covered in all the spooky Halloween vibes. So go and check that out. It's a great time for family. If you want a good date night moment, it's great for that as well. So do check that out. Let me share my screen really quick. There's an event happening tomorrow called Heal Oween, and that's actually going to be taking place at the Health Club on Cornell Avenue in Broad Ripple. I previously hosted my seller social there. So that is where this event is going to be taking place. There it is. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So here it is on the screen, Heal Oween. So it looks like they've got music, overall just fellowship and community. good vibes. We know the snacks and the drinks are going to be great, but also just the fellowship and being with people and just coming together to just have a good time this Halloween weekend, right? And just be there supporting each other. And it says on the invite, a night where music, art, wellness, and community unity collide under one roof, which sounds like what we need right now for sure. So follow this QR code and check out their Instagram too, heal.indie for those tickets. And I believe they start at $18 from what I saw when I was on the page. So again, I love the Health Club. It's such a cool venue in Broad Ripple, and they put on really awesome events like this. So go check it out. I will say honorable mention to Black Phone 2. If you have not seen the Black Phone movies, I recommend rewatching the first one. And then the second one was actually really good for a sequel. Like, it's really hard to top the original most of the time, right? But they did a really good job with this one. So go check it out. If you need a movie to go see that's not on your couch, if you don't feel like passing out candy, go to the movies and see that. All right, people. I'm going to let you get back to your Friday. I really appreciate you joining me today. Remember, you can find me at Jamal the Broker on all social media. You can send me an email, hello@jamalthebroker.com for all of your real estate needs. If you're out of state, no worries there. I've got referral partners all over the country. And my phone number, 317-220-6653. Shoot me a call or a text. I would love to help you. All right. Have a safe Halloween weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.